Real talk. Everyone's heard of KitFox, but let's talk about the airplane that started KitFox. Now the Avid dates all the way back to 1983 and was founded by the legendary Dean Wilson and his partner Dan Denny. So the way I understand it is Dean was pretty much the brains behind the operation and did the engineering and the design work. And Dan was the salesman behind it that helped push it to the market. Now the story goes on that the original builder, Mr. Dean Wilson, and his friend were working on the plane when the friend basically stole the design plans and opened up his own company. The two friends unfortunately went through court battles to decide who was the rightful owner of the plans, and basically the judge said, we'll let the free market decide that. Dean Wilson, I'm told, decided after the court battles not to build his plane, the Avid Flyer, in the commercial market. And the now ex-business partner pushed his plans into commercial production, and eventually the KitFox was born. And that is probably why my Avid is always mistaken for KitFox. Now the Avid also went to Oshkosh in 1983 and won the Best New Design Award. All right, so let's talk about, for me, why did I choose the Avid Flyer? One of the things I like about the KitFox was the side-by-side seating. As you know, if you watch the channel, I have small kids and I like to take them flying whenever I can talk them into it. So I like the comfort of having them sit right beside of me. However, I did not want the price tag that comes along with buying a KitFox. So for me, I was looking for an affordable way to get into backcountry flying. I was stalking the internet day in, day out, trying to find an affordable STOL aircraft. And my buddy Daniel hit me up and sent this Avid to me, and I jumped on it as soon as I could. The Avid was appealing to me because it offers the side-by-side seating that I was looking for at an affordable price.
Oh, that's an RV. Yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit about my Avid. Now to pull this bad baby through the sky, I have a 64 by 30 TN wooden prop, and it does a good job at getting me up and off the ground pretty quick. Now the power plant behind all my fun and action is an 85 horsepower Jabiru 2200 engine. I'll admit, when I first got into this style of flying, I wasn't so sure that 85 horsepower was enough, given I come from a Piper Cherokee with a 180 horsepower engine. Given how light the Avid is, the power to weight ratio is actually pretty incredible. Fuel-wise, I have 8 gallons of gas that I can put in my nose tank, and I also have about 10 gallons or so in the right wing that I can carry on board too. Now typically if I'm out just doing a morning or afternoon of flying, playing on the river, I typically just put gas in my nose tank. But if I'm taking a longer cross-country trip, that's when I throw some fuel into my wing tank. I have a valve and a hose that runs from my wing tank. If I flip it on, it'll then feed gas into the header tank or the nose tank and fill up my tank there. So all in all, I burn about 4 to 4.5 gallons an hour. And given I can have about 18 gallons of gas on board, in theory, if I could stomach to sit in it long enough, I could fly about 4 hours in the Avid. Wow. 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 Next thing that's important to talk about when you're considering flying in the backcountry is useful load. Now, obviously you don't buy an Avid Flyer Model B because you've got a great concern about how much you can carry into the backcountry. This is more just for sport flying, not trying to haul a moose out of Alaska. My useful load in the Avid is about 540 pounds. So giving me full tanks of fuel, I can still haul an average size adult if we're willing to squeeze in real tight. Now one of the changes I made to the Avid after I got it was I put an Earth X battery in the tail, and that made a big difference with cranking power. I could not recommend it more. Now we've talked about the weight. One of the things is my Avid did not come with a standard baggage compartment area. So what I did was I actually made a basket made out of fabric, and I put a piece of polycarbonate material down in the bottom of it to act kind of as the base or the floor to make sure it stayed up off of my controls. And because of the Earth X battery in the back and the Jabiru in the front, I always tend to be a little nose heavy anyway. So sometimes I fly with stuff in my homemade baggage compartment just to level it out. Even on trips like camping trips, I can pretty much throw my sleeping bag, my tent, and small supplies in the back, and it flies perfect. So let's talk tires real quick. When I first purchased the Avid, it had these 8.0 6-inch Carlisle tires on it, and just were not quite built for the mission I had in mind. So the year I bought the Avid, which was 2 years ago, While it's Sun and Fun, I went to the Aircraft Spruce tent and I bought the 22-inch Aero Classic Tundra tires that I have on it now. And really, for the size of the Avid, they're everything I need it to be. So I keep them deflated down to about 5 pounds per tire. And on all the sandbars I land, it gives me all the squish I need and keeps my prop high enough off the ground. I never really worry about striking anything. The other important thing to know about my B model Avid is it has the STOL wing on it. And for the non-pilots watching, STOL means short takeoff and landing. That's exactly why I purchased the Avid, is for that kind of flying, so it was exactly what I was looking for. And honestly, the wing is real draggy, so again, that's why I get nowhere super fast, but it allows me to get down and stall about 40 miles an hour. So performance-wise, what do I get out of the Avid? Let's talk about climb performance. Here in South Georgia, where it gets really hot in the summertime, my summertime performance, I can easily climb about 750 feet a minute. And again, that's in the hot, humid summer. I can take off and land in sub 300 feet. And truthfully, for the kind of backcountry flying I do in our area, that's plenty of performance. One of the most common questions I get asked about the Avid is how fast do I fly? Well, you know, if you buy a STOL aircraft, it's not really about how fast can you go, it's about how slow can you go. I cruise typically somewhere around 80, 85 miles an hour indicated airspeed. So with the right tailwind, I have seen ground speeds of up to 120 miles an hour. So would I consider the Avid Flyer to be a bush plane? If you're looking for STOL performance, just to play on sandbars or grass strips like the previous owner of this Avid did, absolutely. Now again, if you're trying to haul a moose out of Alaska, probably not. You don't have enough real estate here. But for my type of flying as a hobby pilot, just looking to experience God's creation and have fun, I don't think you could find a more economical way into the backcountry flying. So there you have it. That's what I can tell you about my Avid Flyer, hashtag not a KitFox. What's next?